Good morning, buenos dias. Today we are going to celebrate the taste of Latino America. When I used to go to Puerto Rico every summer, sometimes in the morning for breakfast, we would actually have café con leche, and we would have soda crackers, galletas de soda. These are the best, crispiest crackers I've ever had, the ones in the tin. And so what we would do is, we'd actually take the cracker and we would dip it in the coffee, and it would just taste just like a pastry. Today, we're gonna showcase local cooking star, Tina Estrada. She is going to make for us pico de gallo, chopped salsa, that you can put on your scrambled eggs. This is the pico de gallo with the vegetables.
So what you use for that one,
people do it differently, right?
Yeah, what you use for that one is tomatoes. So what you do is tomato. See what I did? I cut beyond this nut. So I take this nut out.
That's a nice sharp knife.
And then you chop. And you go this way.
This is a cooking show.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
And then you put it here where I have already some made. And you do the same thing with onions. You go like this, make a little cut.
So maybe you take like 2 tomatoes, 2 or 3 tomatoes.
Here is 3 tomatoes with this one.
3 tomatoes.
Yeah, 3 tomatoes. That was half of an onion already that I have cut up. Put it here. And then you take some cilantro, but not the top of the cilantro, you take the bottom part.
Why?
Because the top, it has, the stem is too thick.
Too thick, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, and the cilantro, you gotta go really, really, really fine.
Oh, okay.
The reason why is because cilantro, it tends to stick on your teeth.
Oh, and between your teeth?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you got a big chunk of cilantro in your mouth, then what you're gonna have is a green teeth.
Not very attractive, yeah.
And then you do that, and I already have the jalapeno here. This is a hot jalapeno.
Okay.
But you see how big it was? If the seeds is very hot,
forget about it.
It's
really
gonna
hot.
be hot. But if the seeds is not hot, then you add all the jalapeno you want to the salad because it won't hurt you.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. That's a secret.
Yeah. And also, when you're gonna buy a jalapeno, if it has these streams here, see? You see it?
Yeah.
If it has that, he probably won't see it on the, but if it has those streams here, that means that the jalapeno is very hot.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
So that's another secret.
Otro secreto.
Okay, so what you do for that, you take lemon. I like to do this because
¿Cómo se dice lime en español?
Lima limón.
Lima limón in Spanish. Okay.
The reason why I did that, I took the heart out because it squeezes more easy.
Oh.
Okay. So you put lemon. Maybe you can put as much lemon you like, but I don't like to put too much lemon.
Okay.
So what you do, the salt, never put it soon as you make the salad. If you're gonna sit a little while in the refrigerator, don't put the salt.
Okay.
Because the salt is gonna cook. The salad is not gonna be crunchy when you get to eat it. So you put the salt when you're gonna set it on the table.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yes.
So you put salt. No, you don't use. You have to use salt on this, okay? Because tomato is acidy, so tomato, in order to get the salt really good, you have to put quite a bit of salt. Not too much, but quite a bit. And look at that, how nice it looks. All those 3 colors.
That looks beautiful.
See, I already put the brown pepper.
So when you make pico de gallo for your husband, does he eat it with chips, or how does he usually
He eats it with chips. I use it on hot dogs. I use it on steak. I use it on burritos. I use it on anything that is.
Ooh, on hot dogs.
Yes, it's good. On hot dog, it tastes really, really good. But also on the burrito, when you make burrito, carnita asada afuera, and then you make the burrito. When you're ready to wrap it, the tortilla, you put the
Pico de
the
gallo.
pico de gallo from end to end, and when you bite, oh my God.
It's over with.
Yes. So sometimes if I don't have no meat and he want to eat pico de gallo or something, what I do is I make my own chips from corn tortillas.
You are the first person that I've seen
Really?
ever that makes their own chips.
Not really.
I'm serious.
I even made my own platanustre from plátanos.
You do?
The really thin
Yeah.
one? Yes, that's the simple things you can make in your life.
So you just take regular corn tortillas?
If I
wanna
was
show
gonna
us?
make bean tostadas, I leave it like this.
Got it.
But if I'm gonna eat pico de gallo, I take the tortilla, and I cut it in 4 quarters, and then I fry them, and this is how it is. You want a taste?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So which brand? Like, can you show me what el paquete de tortilla?
De tortilla.
Yeah. Because most people spend $3 or $4 on a bag,
I like this
right?
one. There are so many brands over there, but this is the best one. This is what I used to buy in Arizona too. What?
Good.
So this
These
is
are like one of the best chips I've ever had. They're very crunchy.
yeah. And you have to be careful when you're frying them, because if you leave them too long in the oil, when you think they are done, you have to make sure that you get them out of the oil soon.
How do you know?
Because the ones that fall on the hot oil, they're gonna be burned because the oil is still very hot still. So you have to try to get a big ladle or something
get them out quick.
to get them out. Yeah.
Got it.
Or strainer per se.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put them on
That's
my foot.
okay.
And then how much does this one cost? This whole bag?
I don't think it's more than $2.
Wow.
It could be in some store, but in some other store, no.
This is very good.
It needs salt, I believe. It does need more salt, because I know I don't like too much salt.
Well, you know what? Because that tortilla, the chips don't have salt.
Salt, yeah.
Then you do have to put a little salt in here.
Yeah. So,
Can I have another chip?
yeah, sure you can.
I just want to share. You gonna tap some? Or you're gonna make you?
No, my husband will eat some.
Oh, okay.
Will eat some.
You wanna try it on?
That's
chips.
very messy, but you know.
Oh, the chips are so good. I don't think I'll ever buy. I don't think I'm ever gonna buy any more chips.
But you know how you have to learn how to fry them, because if you're not careful, they can burn on you.
So what is it? You think like a minute? You put the oil in?
Yeah, you gotta flip them, and sometimes they get air inside. They get air inside, and they get bubble up.
Right.
So you have to be very careful that when you press it down, don't burn your hand.
Burn yourself with
Yeah.
okay. You have to do it quickly.
So
Oh my God, isn't that good?
Elizabeth Image Unisex Salon, where looking good is understood.
Cleveland's first Hispanic female barber entrepreneur, and she does my hair every week.
Her team does hair, updos, eyebrows, pedicures, and will do your makeup for that special occasion. Elizabeth Image Unisex Salon, located at 4355 Ridge Road in Brooklyn, Ohio. You can contact her and her staff at 216-961-4441.
And hon, I need more space. I need space for my sazon, my soda crackers, my gandules. Look, everything's crammed in here. We need visionary remodeling expert, Jose Rodriguez.
Buenos días, se encuentra la señora Ana Garcia. Aquí está Jose Rodriguez. I'm here to help you with any issue you have in this closet. So now that we have this closet all empty, I'm going to show you a technique that is very simple. It's under $100 and you at home could do it yourself. First thing you want to do is buy yourself a wire rack just like this. They come in 8 feet, 6 feet, 12 feet, different feet. Come with a set of set of anchors that brings a set of nails that you can use. And what the anchor does is, once you put this anchor into the wall, it opens up when you press this nail right through it. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. I'm going to do it where I'm going to take this anchor, I'm going to find a stud, I'm going to show you how to find a stud, And I'm gonna just chop off the back of the anchor because I'm no longer gonna need it. So I'll just take it, a piece of wood, and just cut it off like I did here. And then once we find the stud, we won't need to use this particular anchor because this anchor is for hollow walls. If you have a hollow wall, you need something like this. And what you're gonna do is use a drill bit that's the same size as this, or a little bit smaller. You find it, stick it into the wall, put your nail in, and then what happens is it hangs just like this. Once you put your nail in, it has a cover for it to cover the nail. You just close it out. So the first thing we're gonna do is take a measurement, and I'm gonna design this for Anna, and it's gonna be very quickly, something simple, just so that we can have more room and they could be able to walk in and out of this little. So we're gonna start by measuring 12 inches from the carpet up. That's 12. 12. Then all you do is take your level, and you don't have to mark 12 anymore. Just take your level like this and go all the way across like this and just mark it. Later we'll paint the walls and make it look nice also. So right now, yeah, so now we're gonna find our studs. All you do is, you can use a stud finder, or you can also use a trick that I use. And say for instance, you don't want to put a lot of big holes in the wall. You get the smallest one like this. I usually could tell by doing this there's a stud. And when I go at the bottom, I'll just drill like this, and then just go like this. You're gonna put a baseboard here. You could do that. If you're not gonna put a baseboard, do not do that. Just go something like this. Stud finder here. Okay, it's beeping red. It's telling me that there's a stud there. Just mark it. Just remember, now you could do this with a 16th drill bit. And see, that's telling me there's a stud there. If I go here, there's no stud. So now I know there's a stud there. Then what I do is I take my level and go down here and mark my stud with an X right there. Put your nail in, and exactly where you mark your level line, just put it exactly on the cross that I made, just like that. You're gonna know if you hit a stud or if you did not hit a stud, because if you did not hit a stud, it's gonna come right up. It's just gonna come apart. What happens here is, if you can see here, is that once you put the wire rack on, these are the clips that's going to keep it from coming back off. Those are clips that come off like that. And this is something so simple to build. It makes a lot of space. Then, once you clamp it in, what I want you to do is take your level and set your level on top like this. Make sure everything is in level. Continues to be level. It just looks like it's good right there. Okay? Now with this mark.
Wow.
That's it. And then you do this for all the shelves. We're gonna go, shelf number 2 is gonna go 12 inches. Gonna be shorter, 12 inches, 12 inches.
Wow.
Dicen que si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno.
Tú arreglas todo. You fix everything.
Thank God. The glory goes to God who gave me the vision and also gave me the wonderful name Visionary Remodeling. It's a pleasure to work at your house, Anna and Mr. Shane. I'm here to help you all. Stay tuned for more tips at Visionary Remodeling. We're coming to your house again next week soon.
Okay, so we had such a great response on our Facebook page, The Ana Show, for Bernie Moreno's interview. We got thousands of hits. We decided to air more of it. He is Hispanic, Colombiano. Here is some insight into his car dealership empire. I introduce to you Bernie Moreno, president of Bernie Moreno Companies.
I interviewed Bernie Moreno during Coffee and Conversation, an event hosted by Cleveland Clinic, Salud Hispanic Latino Employee Resource Group. Here, he gave us an insight into his life.
Like I looked at my dad. My dad went to medical school in 1952. And I tell my sales consultants all the time, can you imagine if he didn't no other studies since 1952, and in 1998 he's performing a surgery? I mean, that would be crazy. It would be, you wouldn't even think about it, right? Because a doctor's constantly reading, constantly learning, right? He went to medical school in 52, he's constantly doing that, right? But in sales, we don't often do that. We don't read books, we don't attend seminars, we don't watch programs on it, TED Talks or whatever. And those are the things that you have to do, and to truly say, this is my profession, you have to do that. So there's a great book that I would recommend called The Science of Persuasion. That's absolutely one of the best books I've ever read. And the author who just did that just wrote a new one called The Small Big, which is even a better book. And what he talks about there is there's always this little tiny things that you can change that create a big outcome. I'll give you a doctor one, for example, that you talked about in this room. So doctors do a very good job of appointments, right? Sales, we don't do a good job of appointments. If you're coming to look at a car, we'll say, oh, I'll see you Saturday. Again, if I went to a doctor and said, hey, I'll see you Saturday, doctor, yeah. What time on Saturday, right? And 10 o'clock, right? So they did a study at a dentist's office, said, when you make your next appointment, when you're done with your cleaning, that instead of saying, okay, you're gonna be in January 3rd, okay, January 3rd, hand you the card. They say, what time would you like to be in? January 3rd. Okay, so here's a card, and have the client write January 3rd on that card. And that increases appointment shows 60%. Because the client's taking ownership of that date. So that's what that book shows you. Tiny, tiny little thing, huge, huge outcome. In fact, that book, The Small Big, has a lot, because they did a lot of work for the London health system, has a lot of great medical examples in there I'd recommend for you.
Glad you started talking about books, because you're kind of like an Oprah. Like, we want to know what you read in the most positive way. I said that. But what books do you read? Who do you listen to?
Bob Cialdini, who wrote Science of Persuasion, because it's not just sales is something that we often think of it as in a negative perspective. He's really changing it. In fact, my fantasy is that Bob would be the guy that would come run this center someday. It would be amazing. But so we read sales books, but then my wife and I read a lot of books together.
What do you think, being a Latino has brought to the table and made you successful?
I think one of the things that makes America such a great place, a great country, is that we bring people from incredibly diverse backgrounds together, and we assimilate the best of all the cultures. I heard Condoleezza Rice talk one time about how she had a Japanese ambassador was in New York City, and he talked about the greatness of America was that here he is, a Japanese person walking the streets of New York City, and tourists were coming up to him asking him for directions. Because they would assume he must be an American, right? Whereas if you walk the streets of Japan, it's crystal clear who's Japanese and who lives there and who's a tourist, right? So we have this melting pot piece together. I think we also have to remember that, in politics today, there's this identity politics that happens where we want to put people in boxes and separate each other. I think that's a big mistake. I think, quite frankly, it's done to sell newspapers and ratings. I think we have to remember that this is really about a country of everybody being together and sharing perspectives. I have a unique perspective, you have a unique perspective. Everybody in this room has a unique perspective. It's when you understand those and take the time to listen to them that it makes the most sense.
All right, so you could actually probably retire, right, with everything that you've done throughout your life, but why do you continue to do what you do?
Well, first, I love what I do. That's the key thing. So I love what I do. For this phase of my life, the most important thing to me is really giving back to Cleveland. We have dealerships in Florida, Massachusetts, Kentucky, and here. I could live anywhere. I could live in Florida and save a lot of money. You know, Florida doesn't have an income tax. They don't have an estate tax. But, you know, Cleveland's where my company started. And what I love about Cleveland, Ohio is this is a place where you can really make a difference if you want to. You know, women coming to car dealerships is the easy one, because when I was buying cars when I was a kid, I would watch my sister walk into a dealership and they'd say, well, is your dad going to be here? That was super common. Like the women were like, oh my God. But that was like 99.999% of the commentary that salespeople, if you walk in, well, is your husband coming later to buy the car? It's funny because what I talk about in my company is that women buy half the cars and make the decision on the other half. So now it's actually probably reverse of the way you think, which is like when I'm dealing with a husband and wife, even if the car's for him, I spend 10 times more attention on the wife, with the exception of our Porsche dealership. Our Porsche dealership is probably unique that way, where it's a little bit more male dominated there, but our other franchises, 100%. So we teach our salespeople how to watch for those cues, and we share. And again, we have a mistakes book. So we ask all of our team members to write all their mistakes in a book for themselves, just a little diary, and we talk about those things. And you know, that little interaction, you know, not my turn to watch them. That's in Jack's mistake book. But it's good because you learn from them, right? Just don't do it again, right?
Hi, Bernie. We learned a little bit about your history, tremendous success story. We learned that you've gotten into hot cards. Now you're into the aviation business.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for BMC?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is recognizing that Armageddon for us would be when our products become a commodity, when you can buy this exact Mercedes here, and everywhere. So we try to add benefits and amenities to our clients. So for us, it's constantly pushing the envelope on what that means to have an amenity. So for example, when we came to Cleveland, the person I dealt with at the dealership when I was mystery shopping said nobody buys Mercedes in Cleveland. It's a blue-collar town. This place is terrible. The weather sucks. The people suck. That's what the salesperson told me when he thought I was a client. So there was a mentality that luxury cars don't sell here. So what we did is we said, we're going to sell luxury cars in a dramatically different way at much lower prices to get more people into a luxury world that maybe they didn't think of themselves as. Like when I was growing up, the rich doctor down the street owned a Mercedes, but nobody else. So my idea was, let's get everybody engaged where they can buy a Mercedes-Benz, even though maybe you didn't think it would be a car for you. Or an Infiniti, for example, the same way. Where our Infinitis lease for almost the same as a Nissan or Toyota, so customers don't think of themselves. And then we give them the full luxury amenities. Like all of our dealerships are going to have nail salons. We have this incredible coffee bar, Columbian coffee, of course, that we're going to serve. That's just this amazing. My grandfather started the Federation of Coffee Growers of Columbia, and so we have a brand that we kept called Ospina, and we're going to have that in all of our dealerships. It's just this. If you like coffee, it's unbelievable coffee, and that's just an amenity, right? And so for women who are busy, you come in, grab an amazing cup of coffee, get your nails done, and by that period of time, we get your car fixed. So now we said. Exactly, there you go. And so now we've added is, so I bought a plane, and what we do is when I'm flying on the plane, which is often, so I go to New York, Atlanta, Boston, Cleveland, to Cincinnati, Florida. I said, I don't want to be in the plane by myself. That's crazy, right? Because I figure out how much it costs to just fly me. So what we did is we have seats available on those flights that we do for very inexpensive. So now we've opened the idea that you open the world of luxury private jet travel, where, for example, we can fly down to Cincinnati for $295 on a private jet. So you look at it and go, that's maybe not, I wouldn't charter the plane and spend 12 grand, but for $295 each way, that's a deal. Or we take you to a racetrack in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's $695 to fly there privately. Or a Cavs game in Boston for $595. Go catch the game, come back. So we've opened up this world of luxury jet travel as another amenity that we offer. We have the valet at the airport. So if you pull up to Cleveland Hopkins Airport and you valet right in front, if you have one of our license plate frames, you pay the same for valet as you would for parking way, way far away. So it's another thing that we joke that it's the things that make you go, It's like, I could buy the car at Bedford, I could buy the car in Willoughby, but So it's just a little something. Now, we still have to do the fundamentals really well, but that's what we're trying to do on the amenity side.
Hi, we are here at Channel 3 at the Weather Center with meteorologist Michael Esteme.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. What an honor.
Absolutely. Oh my God, it's an honor to have you. So,
thank you for having me.
So you know that the show elevates the Hispanic community, and you are from the Caribbean. Tell me a little bit about that. We all have so much diversity in us, really.
I love it. I love it because we're a big melting pot here in Northeast Ohio. And so for me specifically, I know that people probably look at my last name and they're like, where is that from?
Is that Gloria Stefan, or you know what I mean? Are you Cuban? Really? Because you could be Cuban, Puerto Rican, you don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And sometimes I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Because I can kind of like slip and slide into just about any sort of situation. People really don't know. But my background is that my dad is from the island of Hispaniola. So of course they have the Dominican Republic, and they also have Haiti on that island.
So your dad's from Haiti. So you guys like the Spanish music?
My dad specifically, he was the one that introduced myself. I have a mirror identical twin brother, and I also have an older brother.
Interesting,
And my dad is the one that really got my twin and I into, as you said, the Spanish and the Latino music. And we're talking about salsa, we're talking about bachata, merengue, all of that. And it has been something that's been a huge passion for my dad, and especially my twin brother as well. We were talking beforehand about how my twin has actually won numerous salsa dancing awards through salsa congress competitions. And it's amazing. I am nowhere near as good as my dad and my brother. I mean, I got a little bit, I got a little bit of the fancy footwork in there. I'm excited because, as you know, they always do in Playhouse Square during the summer months. They will actually have like little kind of salsa get-togethers where a bunch of folks from the community come together, and you can literally do salsa, the bachata, the merengue.
Yeah, and they hire local bands to do that.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. So you might see me out there doing a little something. Nothing too impressive, but just a little something.
Can you show us a couple moves?
I mean, I mean, may I?
Yes,
may
absolutely.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's not just you on the hot seat?
Yeah, I was going to say it's not just going to be me here. But yeah, I would say like it really is the footwork that is most important. And so as you know, I'll step off here and then I'll do just a little bit of this. And
Accessories and jewelry for the Anna Show, provided by Charming Charlie at Legacy Village, 24503 Cedar Road, Lyndhurst, Ohio.
Where I get my hair done every week, the Elizabeth Image Salon, Unisex Salon. You can contact them at 216-961-4441. To contact me, go to my website, theannashow.com, or on Facebook, The Anna Show.